Yeah, digital manufacturing, it is kind of a complex topic that comes out, and I think a lot of it is removing that human element, a lot of it out of the manufacturing process, where traditionally, if you had a finalized design, you'd send that to a manufacturer, you'd have an engineer on staff reviewing it, that engineer would talk with operations and make sure that they can produce it on time. Well, you kind of cut the whole middleman out with the digital manufacturing, is it's instantly analyzed on screen in our ecosystem on our website, and it's digitally automatically sent down to either our CNC, our mills, or our 3D printers, or our presses to get made instantly, or get produced instantly. So you're cutting a lot of the manual labor out there, which is a lot of the time and cost savings that you get out of digital manufacturing.
And that's one key thing too, and I had a chance to visit the plant, and it's very, very impressive as far as the automation they have, and you see very few people.
Yep.
It's just amazing, and that's part of why they can have such a quick turnaround with that, is that they do use the digital tools in order to optimize and produce things, and it's just terribly impressive to see that much, few people, but to see what they're able to produce through automation.
Yeah. And a lot of it is reducing, human error that you get on the floor too. When you automate it, you're moving a lot of those touch points and the human handoff, so you get a better quality product at the end of the day too. Yeah. When you're in medical production, there are some specifics that are looking at not just prototyping, but in the production realm is, ISO 1345 is a standard that comes pretty common with medical production. That's what our facility has as of recently for injection molding, as well as 3D printing and our metal 3D printing. So that's one area, making sure you kind of shore up those certifications is an area to have within the prototyping and production area.
Yeah, because in medical, those standards are very critical. They're really controlled and whatever. So that's a key thing for us too, is they're aligned with that.
So as far as sustainability within digital manufacturing, there are some areas that we're seeing, specific to 3D printing. If you look at through additive in general, you don't have a lot of waste material. So if you talk about the utilization of material, you're not cutting a lot of chips, a lot of waste material as you would see with CNC in a lot of instances. With additive, you're actually using just the material you need for that application. So it is pretty sustainable from a pure sense.
And then metal parts as well. You can talk about that as far as growing the part versus, like you said, machining, which you need tooling and setup, and you have the waste, the chips, and you've got the oil, cutting oil and stuff like that. So able to use a powder and make it solidify as far as metal, and you're able to do more complex parts, but also the sustainability is being realized as well.
Exactly.
So one of the use cases that I could come up with recently, being at Edwards, I was brought in to make sure that they understood plastic parts. So a lot of times I have designers that design things, they send them out to stereolithography. You can make anything, print anything out, but is that manufacturable? So I was brought into it, they had a Y fitting. I took a look at it and I said, I don't think you can manufacture that. They said, oh yeah, production, you could do that. I said, well, let's get some feedback on this. So we took it to Protolabs, took it to our production people, and we rated it between A to F. A being, yes, we could do it. F is not going to work. Anywhere in between, there's risk, right? So they gave us a D- with that. But working with their application people, we were able to make some little compromises, let's say. So we got it up to maybe a C. So with that, we were able to produce this part so that, as he mentioned, fail fast is one of the things that I say quite often, because we want to get those lessons learned, be able to make modifications, and then take those things and then reiterate, what have you. So it was a great example of working together with their application people, with their process, and we had success with that. So we were able to get feedback from production and from the people downstream of what we needed to improve on.
And I'd say another big trend in the industry that we're seeing is, full customization or more customization within applications. Specifically with the medical industry, get down to like the patient care is having a special targeted application for that customer. So that doesn't just talk about geometry specific, but also like material specific. And what Protolabs allows you to do is the fast iteration, fast design allows companies to be targeted and targeted at that specific application or customer, so you can have that kind of that point of care or that fully customizable solution.